family at Iridium. They're back. Dominic McCauley and Jam.
Morning.
How's it going, guys?
All right, Dom, it's been a week. I've missed you, Dom.
No, it does seem like a long time since we've done this, but it's only been, 10 days or so?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's been too long, mate. It's been too long. I'm sure all your fans are missing you as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
But you're back. But you're back for 1983, a great year for all killer, no filler, total frustration. So obviously, I'm sure most people know the rules. I think we seem to be getting the same amount of people sort of watch each show, if you like. But just in case you are new to this, all killer, no filler, total frustration. The rules are, so we can't repeat any songs off an album. So we have to choose one song off of each album that we like. We've got 10 tracks to talk about, and also we have to match the track number up to the original album release. So there you go. It's not easy. It's harder than you think. People try it. I've failed a few times. Tried and failed.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, I mean, obviously you don't get to choose what you want a lot of the time. Usually on your list there'd be one or two songs that creep in and you'd rather have something else, but that's just the way. Until you actually do it, that's the way that the cookie crumbles. That's the way what you find out in the end. So we've got 10 tracks, like I said, to talk about. Dom's going to go first with his track 1 from 1983. What you got?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, as you said, I had plenty of number one contenders. Maybe 5 or 6 that I would be completely happy with, but I had to go with this. It is my favorite song. Certainly not my favorite album of his, but this is Ozzy Osbourne with Bark at the Moon. Had to put that on there.
Yeah, I love the song.
I mean, what a riff, and what an introduction to Jakey Lee, just fantastic. Just an iconic song. Never get tired of that when that comes in. Still get goosebumps. I just love it.
What a video. What a video. Oh.
Yeah, actual shot on video. Yeah. Back in the good old days. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And of course, me liking my low budget horror movies. That's just right up my alley, But what a track. Certainly not his best album, I don't think. I think it's a really spotty album as far as his catalog's concerned, but boy, what a song that is.
Yeah, I saw him at Download. I saw Ozzy at Download. You'll probably know, Jan, when it was. It might have been 3 years ago.
I think so.
And he started with that. He started with that song, and it was just, I love that song.
As you say, it's not the best album, but that song's really good off it. It was a contender for me as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Great choice, mate. Number 1, Jam. What you got, mate?
Okay. Right, will be the first and only mention of this band, so I thought I'd definitely have to include it because I think there's lots of number ones, and I can think of some that you might pick lead for the next one, for number 1. But so I went with this instead because I could have had something else. I went with Quiet Riot and Mental Health.
Oh, I do like the song though. Yeah.
From their debut album, not debut album, from the Mental Health album, of course. I'm not a fan of Quiet Riot particularly. Not that I have anything against them. I just never listened to them. But this is a song I've heard fairly recently. I don't remember it from '83. It's probably only heard it in the last 5 or 6 years, but it's brilliant.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know it's crazy. I mean, obviously they're a lot bigger in America because this is what sort of started the metal scene in America, in the strip and all that, because it topped the Billboard charts, I believe. It was
the very first metal album to go to number 1.
Yeah. So it was late to listen to it, but it's really heavy. It's a heavy track, and it's obviously got Bang Your Head in it, which what more do you want? I mean, great song. And that's it, really. I don't like the cover of. I don't like what they're called.
Slade.
Slade, I don't like Slade, and I don't like Come Feel the Noise at all. But this song is brilliant. I haven't really heard the album, but I just love this song. So I thought I'd definitely put it number 1. I didn't sure if anybody else would have it or not, but
my Quiet Right views near enough match yours, Jam. Apart from I heard this when it first came out and loved it, but I never. I mean, the Slade thing put me off as well. Exactly the same. And that might be one of the reasons why I never got into the band and never bothered, but love the song. Absolutely love the song.
Well, apparently, actually, the band didn't even know the song themselves. It was their producer idea to do the song. They'd never heard it themselves.
No Americans knew what that was. If you talk to 99% of Americans, they would think that was a Quiet Riot song.
Yeah.
Slade had no presence in the States at all.
I mean, his voice. his voice totally suited the song. It was near enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. They had, I didn't even hear Merry Christmas, everyone, until I moved here.
Oh God, I could fucking kill myself if I heard that fucking song again.
So I've only had 8 years of it, so it's still fresh to me. It sounds great. I love it. But I mean, I'm sure growing up, it was just, everywhere.
It's not Christmas till Noddy says it is, but even so, I don't really need to hear it.
Mate, I'll tell you, when he shouts out it's Christmas at the end, I could take a 4-year-old kid and just kick it up in the air. I tell you, I don't know.
but I can see why, yeah, I mean, I can see why if you've heard it, 5 million times, but for me, it's kind of a new song.
Right, no, good choice that though, mate. That quite right. I do like that song. It's my favourite song without even know if it is my favourite song because I haven't really heard it. But I'm going for a real. I think Jan might have guessed this one. I did have a few number ones though, but this is possibly could call this maybe the best opening track on an album ever. Where Eagles Dare, of course. Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah.
That was not what I thought, actually. I forgot about this one, but it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, man.
I won't mention it. Yeah.
I just think this is so epic, this song. I mean, that long, Maiden are known for it, for a short little verse and a chorus, maybe a cut, and then they do a big, instrumental part in the beginning of the song, then get back into the song. Bruce Dickinson at his height, obviously, in those first 3 or so albums. And I just love it. Love the little, I know the Gatling guns are a little bit fake on this one. But it still excites me to, this song. I just think what a blinding opening track. I miss those sort of opening tracks from Maiden. I sort of think they did it with the Book of Souls album. I thought the opening track of the Book of Souls was really good. I'm trying to think of the title, what name of the song was now.
It was so good that
yeah. But it was they've been veering towards that their single release, their 3.5 minute single release to be at the beginning of album, and then on the Book of Souls they whacked a 6 or 7 minute song on, and I thought right. Getting back to that epic sort of opening. But Where Eagles Dare,
excellent song.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. So that's my number one.
That's my favorite Maiden album, so I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean that shifts
come blasting out. Yeah,
shifts about with Power Slave to me. That brilliant song, absolutely brilliant. I really don't know which one I like better. I think we've had conversations about perfect albums from start to finish. I love everything on Peace of Mind.
On both those two.
Yeah, great, absolutely great. Right, okay. Track 2.
All right. Yeah, track 2 for me is Alcatraz, which is their first album with Graham Bonnet, obviously, is the front man for this. This is with Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar before he shot off on his own solo. Yeah. The name of the album is No Parole for Rock and Roll, and the song I picked is called General Hospital, which sounds a bit daft, but to be honest, the song is it's so good. Just that voice, his voice, man. Yeah, he can just sing. He does, especially back in these days, when he was with Rainbow and then MSG, and then this was the next step for him. Wow, what a barnstormer of a voice. And these just have the production of this is it reminds me very much of the first 2 Dio albums. It has that kind of gated, but really heavy drums and great verses.
He took
just classic early 80s metal.
Yeah, Graham Bonnet, he's in the early 80s and that the image he had, I think, it didn't match his voice. And we us in the early 80s into our metal and our Maiden and some with Priest. Yeah. But that's what you wanted. You wanted the old metal, long hair, leather jackets or jeans or whatever. That was the rule that time. And then he came along and everyone was like, what's going on? And I think it was unfair because his voice was just amazing. I mean, if you think about that I think about the vocal that really impressed me, and I know it was like a overplayed single, like All Night Long, when he goes into that last verse, and you're like, wow, you know, when you really actually think about how good his voice was.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's really cool nowadays to look back, because he really put a middle finger up, you know. I remember before Rainbow did was it the first Donington, and they knew they were going to be doing it for a while, and Blackmore's like, can you maybe, you know, wear, you know, something a bit more rock looking, and maybe grow your hair just a little bit or something? And he's like, oh yeah, and he shows up on the day in like a suit.
Well, that's rock and roll for you, mate.
Tell me how to fucking look.
You can't get more rock and roll than that. You can't get no more rock and roll than that.
Yeah,
mate.
So I think that's pretty great. Yeah. So anyway, Alcatraz, if you're not that familiar, they have this album with Yngwie Malmsteen. Then the next one, the guitar player Steve Vai, which is another great album as well. So breeding ground for some of our favorite music. Check them out.
I will. Cool. Definitely, mate. Definitely. Right. Okay. Jam, you're number 2, mate.
Well, yeah, I mean, it ties in nicely with Dom's, because I'm going to actually talk about Rainbow from Bent Out of Shape, released in August, and it's Can't Let You Go.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Now, yeah, I mean, it starts with the Hammond organ, which I know you love. But it's probably actually my favourite Rainbow album, I think. Obviously, Joe Lynn Turner's great vocals on it, and it's because it's my first one. It's like everything, it's your first album you hear by them. It's probably your favourite to a certain extent. I'm not sure how.
Natural Memories.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how highly rated this album is. I mean, people don't generally talk about it, but for me, I think it's got some great songs. I like the first song, which I won't obviously mention yet, but no, Can't Let You Go. There's probably about 3 or 4 tracks I could have picked off this album. So this is one of the best as far as I'm concerned.
I must like Hammond organ, because I chose that song as well. So there you go. No, I love it, man. I mean, I think this might have been part of my top 10 Rainbow songs. I talked about it with Mark as well. I mean, you have got that Hammond organ, but yes, great. I mean, Joe Lynn Turner singing a near enough a ballad. Where can you go wrong with that? Where can you go wrong? Just absolutely so fantastic. It is a brilliant song. I mean, I am choosing a few songs here that I've spoken about before, but that's the way it goes. I've done fucking 450 episodes near enough now, so I've got to, talk about them now and again.
But you can't escape it.
Yeah, exactly. With Rainbow, my relationship with Rainbow is a little bit not hit and miss, but I'm a big fan of their singles. I think they really excelled in singles, not so much on the deeper album tracks. Although there were some, I think their strongest songs a lot of the time are the singles for me.
Yeah.
They really penned a good, hit or whatever. That Can't Let You Go was absolutely great. It was the last album with Joe Lynn Turner, wasn't it? Bent Out of Shape.
Or
Straight Between the Eyes, or was it Straight Between the Eyes? I can't remember.
No, we already covered Straight Between the Eyes, so it must be.
Yeah, they did Final Vinyl, but I don't think was there new stuff on that. I think he's hanging on that. Wasn't he?
Well, that stuff like live, I think mostly.
Yeah.
Great song. Okay, so great minds think alike. I was getting worried then. When you started saying Rainbow and you was going to say that you said the title of the song, I was thinking he's going to say another title of the song. It's going to be different. That's why I was fucking panicking then. I panic every time I do these shows because I've had the fuck up now, and that's it. I'm just paranoid. So there you go. Okay, track 3.
Okay. Crocus is back. This is, I think I spoke on the last episode that if anyone spoke about what Crocus album to listen to, that this is their album. It's called Headhunter. This track is a heavy ballad. It's called Screaming in the Night. Probably their most well-known song, at least in the States. Had a lot of MTV airplay at the time.
I think I remember this one, mate, and I'm not a Crocus fan.
Screaming in the night, fighting for my life, I die for you.
So very it's not their AC/DC side, is it? This is quite commercial, catchy.
Yeah. Yeah, just like your typical 80s heavy ballad. It's not quite, I wouldn't really put it in a power ballad category because it's not very lovey-dovey, but very powerful song. And again, another song I've heard 500 million times. Still love it when it comes on. I mean, I don't hear it that much now, but certainly back then you couldn't escape it. But what a classic track! So, "Screaming in the Night," Crocus.
Great choice, mate. Excellent. Right, what you got, Jan?
Yeah, track 3. I'm going. It's a bit obvious, but it wasn't on my list last time I did it, and it's Kiss, "Lick It Up," from the album "Lick It Up," released in September. I don't know how much we more need to say about this. It's a classic Kiss song. Still play it now. Great chorus. I'm not bored of this one. Some of the Kiss songs you have heard too much, but I love "Lick It Up" every time it comes on. And
I still love it.
It's great, great track. Pretty good album as well. Pretty good album on stage 3. So that's it for me.
I think it's my favourite Kiss album. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. You know, we never followed up on that. I meant to ask you because when we did our Kiss episode, we were talking about Creatures, and you made an aside comment saying, "No, but it's not my favorite Kiss album." I was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
what could it be?" So it's Lick It Up.
I think it's Lick It Up. I know that would probably be like most Kiss fans, you know, wouldn't be their favourite, but yeah,
I love it.
I think it's when I really started getting into them as well, because that stage of the non-makeup I liked a lot better. So
yeah,
there you go. Right, okay, my track 3. I'm going back to a band I think I've said before, with the Black Tiger album, but this one obviously is the next album, which is Mean Streak, and Y&T, "Lonely Side of Town." Great,
all right.
Sort of like a ballad-ish sort of song. This is one of the. My relationship with Y&T was a lot later on when I was a kid. So after would it have been? It might have been the next "In Rock We Trust" album, I think it was. And my brother borrowed some albums off of someone, some Y&T albums, and he chose like the best songs off it and put it on a tape. So there was about 10 songs of Y&T from Black Tiger through to "In Rock We Trust," and this was one of them. And they've remained. Isn't it weird? They've remained my favourite songs. Either my brother's got really good taste and he picked the best ones, or it's just because I heard them quite a bit.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure, but this is one of my favourite Y&T songs. "Lonely Side of Town." Dave Meniketti is just an amazing vocalist and guitarist. Still amazing now. So there you go. Y&T, "Lonely Side of Town" from Mean Streak.
I find that tracks like that, when you have a story like that, when it reminds you of something, they do stick with you forever. And they just don't change. They sink in when you're a kid. They sink in a lot better when you're younger.
Yeah,
and now tracks I listen to, I could listen to an album 6 months ago for weeks, and then I could put it on a year later, and I sort of forgotten half the songs by the time I listened to it. But back in the day, they just sank in.
They did. Okay. Got to track 4, Dom.
I have to ask you, you've mentioned your older brother quite a bit on this channel, and I just wondered, is he still into metal? Does he listen to it or anything, or does he even watch the channel? Or
no, he doesn't really watch my channel, I don't think. If he does, he wouldn't tell me. But it's a bit weird.
Okay.
I don't see. He lives quite close, but I don't see him that much. He might be watching now, so he's probably waiting for me to say something bad about him. So I'm not gonna. He's a really nice guy.
Enough said. I will move on to my number 4. Sorry, I mentioned it.
No, that's all right.
All right. Number 4 for me is I don't think you got much of them over here. It's a band called Kix, K-I-X. They had about 5 major label albums. They hit with their 4th one called "Blow My Fuse," which I'll probably try to get a track in at some later stage. But this is for their 2nd album called "Cool Kids," and the name of the song is "Body Talk." But I have my reason for putting this on is twofold. They do a great version of it, but it's written by one of my personal music idols by the name of Nick Gilder, who is a Canadian guy. Made the best glam power pop late 70s that you could ever hear. He had a streak of 3 albums that I think are just among the best of all time. He's mostly known as a one-hit wonder for a song called "Hot Child in the City." And he also has a song called "Roxy Roller," which has been in a few films and stuff. Anyway, so he originally wrote this song. They did the cover of it. So I got to kill two birds with one stone to talk about both. So if you like your kind of heavy bubblegum pop of the late 70s, like a Cheap Trick kind of style, check out Nick Gilder, man. There's a 3-album stretch, 78, 79, 80, or no, I think 77, 78, 79. It's just some of the best music I've ever heard. So somebody can get turned on to that, I'm happy.
For some reason, I thought that band Kicks were later bands, like late 80s. I didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't break until the late 80s. I think 87 or 88, they had a top 10 US single with a power ballad. But they had 3 albums before that. This is back in the day when labels would actually support bands that didn't sell right out of the box. I mean, they didn't hit until their 4th album, but they're still they're still on Atlantic, you know. So labels didn't just sign people willy-nilly and drop them 6 months after the first album didn't do anything, you know. This is actually back in the day where they put some money into them and everything. Cool. So it eventually paid off for the band, but it took a while.
Great choice, mate. Okay, Jen, what you got, mate?
Yeah. Okay, well, we've touched on this album already. Lee did. One of my favourite albums by Maiden as well. I mean, pretty much could have had any track off this. So it's one of them ones where it just slotted in nicely. So I've gone with Die With Your Boots On, which I really like. Yeah. It's probably, when I first heard this album, because once again, I went backwards. I started from Seventh Son, pretty much went backwards from Maiden. It's one of the ones I like first off straight away, Die With Your Boots On. Before I knew they played The Trooper every week, I really like this one. They don't play it that often, Die With Your Boots On. I think I might have seen them play it a couple of times. But no, it's just really catchy. Yeah. Sing along. It's typical galloping, fast song. It's just brilliant. It fits in perfectly with the album theme. There's lots of war themes, isn't there, on Peace of Mind, if you think about it. Where Eagles Dare and Trooper and Die With Your Boots On. So brilliant song.
Love it. Absolutely love that song, mate. Good choice. Brilliant choice. Okay. My track 4. Ozzy. Rock and Roll Rebel.
Oh, you picked a rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if everyone knows, Jakey Lee was my favourite guitarist.
Mine too.
Yeah, there you go.
He's my favourite Aussie guitarist. Yeah.
I just love his playing. I don't know. I love watching him live as well. I just think that in them few live concerts I saw of Ozzy's, he almost looks like he's awkward playing. Like, I don't but he does it. It's almost like you feel he's hard for him to play, but he's just, I don't know, I can't explain it, but he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I
get so much excitement just watching him play. I really do.
The work he does. Oh yeah. I mean, the work he does between his riffing. I've said quite a few times before. Yeah. I like it when guitarists go off on like little lead bits. You know, a bit like Matthias Jabs used to in Scorpions. That sort of, they would go off into these all the way through the song, just noodling. Yeah. And Jake Lee was absolutely brilliant at that.
He was. It sounded like there were 2 guitar players.
Yeah,
he was filling in all the dead spots.
Yeah, and even when you see him live, like you said, sometimes when a player goes into his soloing, it's almost like you're missing something compared to the records, because in the studio they normally back it up with a rhythm guitar, don't they? In the studio, but he would just go on and play a little bit of rhythm, and you wouldn't miss anything. It would just feel so full. What an amazing guitarist. So I'm not a big, massive Ozzy fan, as you might know, anyway, but like vocally. But I do appreciate everything he's done for metal, obviously, and Rock and Roll Rebel. That's my number 4.
Cool.
I am happy to say that I prefer Sabbath with Dio and Ozzy solo.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm much more into Ozzy's solo work than Sabbath with Ozzy, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I mean I am. I thought you meant, do you prefer Ozzy solo work than Dio's solo work? That's what.
No, I meant Dio and Sabbath for those albums, and Ozzy on his own for those albums really worked out for both parties.
Yeah.
Because they were both, you got like 5 brilliant albums out of that dissolve. So I don't know.
Let's just make it clear to the viewers. I prefer Dio solo stuff than Ozzy solo stuff. There you go. I just want to make that clear. I was getting confused.
No, I was talking about I prefer Dio with Sabbath and Ozzy solo at the same time. Anyway.
Cool, mate. Okay. Fucking hell, that was confusing.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Track 5, guys.
Track 5. First appearance for Merciful Fate. This is their debut album, Melissa. And this is Black Funeral. Under 3 minutes. Just completely great. Kind of a no album feel to it. You either like King Diamond or you don't. I understand why people make fun of him because he does have a distinctive voice, and I'm not going to lie and say the very first time I heard it, I was in love with it. But I've come to appreciate over the years his body of work, and especially the first 2 Merciful Fate albums are just fantastic stuff. So hey, you'll probably see a lot more of that guy coming up in the next few years. But my choice was Black Funeral off of Melissa.
Cool. Good one, mate. Never really dived into that music at all. I don't know why, but perhaps I will a little bit. But I always say I will, and then I've got so much to do and listen to that I don't. So
you've got like 14 more videos just to do today. So how are you ever going to?
Great choice, though, mate. Nice to have a bit of writing, a new one from you. So new band. So that's good. Right. Okay. What you got, Jam, for 5?
Yes, right. First appearance of a great band. It will probably appear in the next few years, and that is Rat.
Oh yeah,
the Rat EP, and it's Back for More, the original version, Back for More, released in August '83. Slight controversy in case anybody picks up on this. It on my tape, on my CD, it's track 5. My vinyl, sorry. But I looked on Wikipedia, and apparently in Europe there's a 6-song version, but I've never seen it, never heard the song that they're talking about. So as far as I'm concerned, it's track 5. So there you go. But this is the.
You can get away with that now that Brexit's happened, so you're not European anymore.
That's it,
so.
exactly.
Yes,
it doesn't say UK; it says European, so that's fine. But, but this version is a bit slower than it's re-recorded for next year's. I think it's next year's album for Out of the Cellar. But it's still a great song, and I could get away with having 2 songs from Out of the Cellar, then, can't I? So it's good to have it on there. But Back for More, brilliant. Sing-along song from Rat, and Rat. I love Stephen Pearce's vocals. So distinct, you can instantly tell it's Rat when he's singing.
I fucking love Rat, man. I fucking love Rat.
Yeah, you can't beat the first few albums. I mean, they went downhill a bit at the end, and then they did that later one. It was Infestation in about 10 years ago. That was good. That was back to sort of form, but
that was a huge surprise. Infestation.
Yeah, it was good.
I was not expecting anything, and it was like a proper Rat album. It was like, wow, this is like good. Brilliant. And then I went to shit again after that, obviously. But,
exactly. Good choice.
Great song. Yeah,
good choice. So,
how do you feel about that, Lee?
What?
Using the Rat EP in this?
It's fine, mate. Yeah, because it's got. Yeah. No, it's totally fine, mate. It's a track, isn't it? It's a track number. Totally fine.
Excellent. Okay. Now I know I can use EPs.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm probably going to need all I can get in the future years.
Oh man, I've been looking more. Please, it's slim out there.
Oh mate, so yeah, I'm open to lots of new rules if you want to make them, just so I can get through, the 90s and the 2000s. Right, okay. Well, I'm going for an absolutely brilliant song. It was a single, and of course, it's "Cold Sweat," Thin Lizzy. Oh, what an amazing! Can't argue with that. Brilliant, absolutely amazing solo from John Sykes, of course. That bit where dun, 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 all that, fucking brilliant, absolutely amazing. Really got a bit heavier this album when it compared to heavier and sort of melodic at the same time. This album, it was that bridge, if you like. Sadly, the last studio album because of Phil Lynott, but this was proper metal, man. From that opening riff, and then it was just fucking amazing song. Heavy, catchy, Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Off my favourite Thin Lizzy album as well. There you go.
Cool. Awesome. I mean, I can't say enough about John Sykes, man. Woo.
Yeah, I just wish he was a bit more fucking busy. You know, he put out a song, didn't he, the other month? Like, and then what's happened?
Yeah.
What the fuck has happened? Do you know what I mean? Just get an album together already. You know what I mean? Is he that fucking loaded that he doesn't have to make music?
I don't even know. I mean, maybe songwriting, because he did co-write a lot of 1987 Whitesnake, obviously. So
yeah,
he probably gets royalties from that.
That's when he tried to sack David Coverdale, wasn't it?
When he tried to sack David Coverdale from Whitesnake?
Yeah, he had a meeting apparently to get rid of him. I mean, what the fuck is that? That's like almost like getting rid of Dio out of Dio.
Yeah.
That's some fucking balls, man.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, John Sykes.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. We're track 6.
Okay. Track 6. First appearance from another iconic band, Slayer. Their debut album, Show No Mercy. And this is Black Magic. This album doesn't have the best production, obviously, but it's still, it's of its time, and it doesn't bother me one iota. A lot of these songs do sound better on Decade of Aggression. They kind of have that's the live album from 1990. They do have a bit more oomph to them in the live versions, but I'm happy with this. And Black Magic's one of those just classic Slayer riffs. They still do it live. I'm
not a Slayer fan. I mean, I like a few songs, but why did I think Rain in Blood is the first album? Why do I think that?
Well, it's the third album, yeah, and it was the first one that really got any sort of notice. They got signed to a new label. They got signed to Rick Rubin's Deaf American label. These two were on Independent Metal Blade, so they didn't get as much notice. But then Rain and Blood was the third one, but that's kind of their coming out party, I feel like. And that's obviously the one that everybody says is the classic thrash album of all time. But boy, they got some tunes before that as well. I'm not gonna ignore these. So there you go, Slayer, Black Magic.
Good one, okay. What you got, Jan?
Track 6. This is the one when we talked about you could have a heavy song by not a metal band. We were talking. This is the song I actually mentioned at the time, so I'm going to go with that because it's a great song, and it's Mike Oldfield from the Crisis album, released in May '83, and it's the song "Shadow on the Wall." And
that's the one you were talking about way back.
Yeah, that's it. It's really, really good. It's song. Roger Chapman sings the vocals for it. It's not Mike himself, but Mike Oldfield plays all sorts of instruments, and he plays all the guitar for it. And apparently, he was at the time he was fascinated by metal music and wanted to write a metal song. So he probably thought about it. It's not accidental, and his guitar work on it is fantastic, and it's definitely worth checking out if you've not heard it. The Crisis album itself the first track is called Crisis, and it's about 20 minutes, which is like most Mike Oldfield stuff. It's a big instrumental piece mostly. And then on the B side, it's 4 different songs. And might have heard Moonlight Shadow. That's his big hit. That's on that album as well.
So that's on this same album as well.
It's on the same album, yeah. I mean, the song Crisis is really good. It's very progressive, Tom. You'd probably like it. I mean, it's not heavy, but it's all his stuff is pretty progressive. And it must be a heavy metal song because the band Arch Enemy have done a cover version of it. So there you go.
Hey, cool.
Fucking hell, there you go.
That's it. Check it out. Shadow on the Wall.
Very clever. I mean, I'm saving Beat It for the guitar solo in the later years for Michael Jackson. Yeah. So there you go.
Why not?
I'm only fucking joking. I'm only joking. But no. No, it's good. If it's heavy, if it's rocking anyway, mate. I mean, we go from AOR near enough, don't we? So there you go. I mean, we cover lots of thrash, so there you go. So I'm on the more of the AOR side now, actually, but quite a heavy song for the band itself. And the amazing Journey, Edge of the Blade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so probably one of their heavier songs. A brilliant trade-off between Neil Schon and Steve Perry at the end on the play out, where Steve Perry's voice, man. It's just absolutely amazing. Is that a no or is that a yeah?
No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I mean,
because occasionally his voice.
Steve Perry's just untouchable, and I think I appreciate him even more now.
I mean, 99% of people think he's amazing, but you do get the odd person that just don't like it at all, you know, and I can't understand that, but it's just opinions again, isn't it? But there you go. But Edge of the Blade is like, I think it was a B-side to Separate Ways. This was one of my most heard songs as well from Journey when I was a kid, and it was a single, 7-inch single. I think this was on the B-side, I think. And it was just near enough for me. I heard it as much as Separate Ways, you know, and I just thought both of them tracks are just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Journey, one of my favourite bands. Edge of the Blade. There you go.
Excellent. What do I got here? Number 7, we'll talk about Raven, UK band, new album band, if you will. This is from their album All For One, which was their last album before they signed to a major, which basically ruined the band when they did that. So they had a string of fairly big albums, and this was the last of I think it was a trilogy called All For One. This song was the single off that album called Break the Chain. B-side had Born to Be Wild, which was a duet with Udo Dirkschneider on there.
Oh, right.
It'd be funny if you want to hear. But this is a great song. Funnily enough, I would say probably the chorus is my least favorite part of the song. It's not that I dislike it. It's just the verse, the pre-verse, or the pre-chorus, and then this really heavy bridge that could just go. I mean, they could write a whole song on the riff on this bridge. It's really good. Whenever it comes on, I'm just like, fuck you! But it doesn't last long enough. No. But yeah, it's a great tune. As I said, it's kind of last chance for Raven. Although I do have to say, they have been making some records in the last decade, and they're actually pretty darn decent. So I got to give them props. Yeah. No one thought that Raven would come back and make some good records, but they actually have.
That's becoming a bit more and more regular now, isn't it? These older bands these 80s bands that have went through a bad period and now are, you know, but the fans are wanting it, that sound, don't they? Now they're wanting that original sound. Yeah. So great choice,
Having said that, some of those comebacks haven't been so successful.
Not so, yeah.
My ears are concerned, but Raven have actually done well. Yeah.
Great choice, mate. Right, where you got, Jam? Number 7, mate.
Number 7. Return to type here. I'm going for the Ramones with Subterranean Jungle album, and it's Psychotherapy. What a song this is! It's
love that
classic.
Song.
It's a brilliant song. It's not a great album, Subterranean Jungle. For me, it's not one of the best Ramones albums at all. But this song is absolutely brilliant, classic. Play it live all the time. Skid Row have done an awesome cover version of it on their B-sides themselves.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but from back in the day, this is when just after Slave to the Grind, I think, come out. They did a Little Wing on it from Jimi Hendrix and this version, and then Skid Row always used to play it live after that. And it's just 2-minute Ramone punky 80s song, and it's just fantastic. Sing alongable, you know, you can sing along the lyrics after about 30 seconds, you'll know what's coming.
Psychotherapy, psychotherapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great song.
I'll never forget, I first saw the video, I was at a Halloween party. Must have been 1981 or 82. So very early days of MTV, but of course they were showing horror themed videos and stuff like that on the night. And they showed the video for Psychotherapy because it's kind of a horror theme. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Great song.
Okay, right. This one was in another show that we did together, guys. So I won't go too much on the actual song, but I mentioned Kiss already. So 1,000,000 to 1 is my.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you like this one, didn't you, Dom? You love this track. And Jam, you went away and listened to this, then? Oh, is it not the track you don't like?
It's okay, but Jam really likes it. I know that.
Yeah, that's
I like Too Wants to Be Lonely as well. I really like as well.
Yeah,
that's album. Yeah.
So really, sort of a ballad, but a bit not. It's a bit too. I suppose the speed of the song is actually a medium pace song, but it's really sort of melancholy the way that Paul Stanley sings it. You know, so that's my number 7. Absolutely love that song. It's got a great vocal in that. Great vocal.
Love it.
Yes. Kiss a
Whenever
million to
Kiss
one.
comes into a list, I'm happy whether it's one of my favorite songs or not.
Yeah,
it's nice to get like a album track in there.
Definitely. Okay. Track 8.
Number 8 is Fastway with Say What You Will. This was the first Fastway album. Great album, so good. If you don't know, it's Fast Eddie Clarke from Motorhead.
Yeah. Unusual for him, the music style as well, wasn't it? Is it more sort of commercial, wasn't it? That fast
but
melodic,
it's good. Yeah, I guess kind of bluesy rock, you would say. Singer is just great. Ironically, he's gone on to have a very successful career being the singer for a punk band called Flogging Molly.
Right. Flogging Molly. Yeah.
Dave King, yeah. But here he's very kind of Robert Planty. Great rock singer. But after Fastway kind of imploded after 3 albums, I think, he went a completely different direction, and now he just sings in a lower register, and it's like an Irish punk folk band. But he's had lots of success. They even have their own cruise, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
cruise. So he's doing quite well for himself. But yeah, it is weird seeing him back in the day in these videos.
Weren't they on the soundtrack for Trick or Treat?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, all the original songs are Fastway.
Yeah, I remember hearing. I think there's the main song for the album. Yeah, I love that.
Gene Simmons is in it, isn't that? Gene Simmons and Alice Cooper or something.
Ozzy. Yeah. So that soundtrack definitely has a cult following. Yeah. But this song, especially "Say What You Will," was on the radio all the time on the local rock stations. So it's definitely not a obscure album cut as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Just a riffy, great tune. So
great one, mate.
There you go, Fastway.
Good.
Cool.
Jan, what you got, mate? Number 8.
I'm getting worried now because there's 3 massive albums and no one's mentioned anything off it. I'm just thinking it's the right year, isn't it?
Oh, well, then we could be like, well, if they are, we could have the same fucking songs here then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. I'll go with number 8 is Shout at the Devil. From Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue, and it's Too Young to Fall in Love.
Yeah, I love that song.
Released in September '83. I mean, what an album Shout at the Devil is. It's definitely my favourite Motley Crue album. Every song I could have picked any song off this, really. I mean, even the cover of Helter Skelter's quality. Don't mind the Beatles, but it's a really good song. It's a heavy song anyway, the Beatles version.
Yeah, I can't stand the fucking Beatles, but that was a good song.
It was a good song, yeah. But no, Too Young to Fall in Love is an absolute classic.
Yeah, it's good. Good one.
That's it.
Good one, mate. Excellent. Okay. It's me, innit? One of the big albums I suppose you're talking about, but not quite the same one. Def Leppard, Coming Under Fire. I've got one of the more deeper tracks from Pyromania. I love this song, man. I mean, it's just perfect. The intro to this song is just amazing. Just the riff that before it actually kicks in. Coming Under Fire. You could pick anything, couldn't you, off of Pyromania? Yeah. It's just easy.
Yeah, you really could.
I think that's why. I mean, the sort of bigger albums are sort of at the back because they're the ones that have got every track, and usually a lot of bands fade out, don't they, on their end of their albums? The lesser known ones, they fade out towards the end. So I think it was just quite easy on some of these ones to get the good tracks in for me.
I mean, 1983, God, what a year.
I know. Oh, that's fucking brilliant year, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
amazing.
Okay, we're up to track 9.
Yeah, track 9. Well, we just talked about it. Motley Crue, Shout the Devil. This is Knock 'Em Dead, Kid.
Great song.
Yeah.
I love that song. Yeah.
Always love that descending on the chorus. They do the same thing basically on 10 Seconds to Love as well. Where it descends into like a minor chord or whatever, but just love it. As you said, you could pick nearly every song, but I knew I would, need 9 or a 10 or an 8 or something, and I knew I could count on this album to give me it. So, Knock 'Em Dead, Kid. There you are. Just classic Crue. My favorite. My favorite album of theirs as well. Shout the Devil. Yeah, for sure.
Mine too. Yeah.
I would have had Knock 'Em Dead, Kid if I could, but I really wanted my number 9, which instead, so I had to change it. But I love Too Young to Fall in Love. So, Knock 'Em Dead, Kid. Great song.
Great one. All right. Okay. What you got, Jan?
Number 9, and it's got to be Metallica, Kill 'Em All album, and it's Seek and Destroy. Brilliant song. I love this song. Couldn't get it on the Metallica
1983, man.
Yeah, I've got that.
No.
We got Metallica as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it on the Metallica list, so I had to put it in now. But I mean, I just remember, sorry, Don, but I don't know if Lee remembers the Arena program on heavy metal that was released in 1989. It was a documentary all about it, heavy metal.
No, don't remember
it's a classic. You ought to watch it if you can. It's on YouTube, and Dom as well. Then it's all about British metal. And they film in Rock City and things like that, and they show Metallica playing at Hammersmith Odeon, playing Seek and Destroy. It's on the And Justice tour, and they've got all the statue collapsing at the back and just singing Seek and Destroy. It's like when I first heard Metallica, it was like, fucking hell, I've never heard anything like that before. Absolutely brilliant, and always stuck with me, and they always play it live. Great song.
Great riff on that one. Great riff on that one. Brilliant. Yeah. Okay, my number 9, and the only thing I'm a bit disappointed with, this is brilliant, but it sounds just like a closing track of an album. It should be at the end. So on my actual playlist, I couldn't get away with it, obviously, because it's not track 10. But it sounds like a track 10. It's shame on the night, Dio.
Oh, so, yeah.
I mean, it's a proper last track, isn't it? You know, but obviously on my playlist, I would have this at 10, but it's just brilliant. I mean, what an album, what a debut album from Dio. Talking of Dio, I've actually said Dio, and obviously he's come over here because he heard his name.
This is the first appearance of Dio on a All Killer No Filler video.
Right, come on then, boy.
Hello, fella.
There you go.
What a kid, man. What a kid.
Gorgeous. I got one of your songs in, and of course, yesterday was the anniversary of his death, wasn't it? 11 years.
Yeah.
So,
and you're wearing a t-shirt as well.
And I got the t-shirt on, and I got the dog. I mean, that's just dedication for you, isn't it? There you go.
Dio. Fantastic.
Right, shame on the night. Well, he was trying to chew my blooming chin. Right, okay, calm down. Oh, look at everybody, look. Anyway, right, get down there. No, he's not going to
I love that dog. Can't say enough about him.
Oh, he's gorgeous. He is gorgeous, but he's just a bit mad. He's a bit mad.
I feel like I've been watching him grow.
Right, before this dog does me head in, track 10. Let's go.
Okay, track 10. Kind of obvious because we had already talked about this, but I have to go with the title track from Twisted Sister. You can't stop rock and roll.
Oh, you had to get a rock and roll in there, mate.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I did, and this is one of the great ones. So just an anthemic, fantastic song. Just love it. Twisted Sister at their best before they got a bit more. You know, I'm not gonna shit on Twisted Sister because I know that after Stay Hungry, those next 2 albums were a bit problematic. But I think if you look into some of the deeper cuts on those albums, there's some really great stuff. Obviously, no one wants to hear their cover of Leader of the Pack. No way. Or be crude to your school with Alice Cooper. Not great either. But get to tracks 8, 9, 10, that sort of thing. They're kind of more in the classic vein. So anyway, but this is probably their best album, I'd say, front to back, for me at least, my favorite. And you can't stop rock and roll, man.
Yeah, great song.
Great song. Okay, well, you got Jam for your closing track of your playlist, mate.
Closing track. I won't talk too much about this because Dom covered it, and it's Pyromania Def Leppard. We could have had anything off this again. It's not one of those albums, and Dom had it as his 10 on Def Leppard list. And it's But He's Got a Gun, which is an epic closing track and
great gallop.
Bang.
You got a gallop, mate. You can't beat a gallop, can you?
Exactly.
Metal.
and then the closing drum beats at the end, and then just repeating itself. Yeah, it's just good closing track as well. So yeah, But He's Got a Gun, Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I get to my track 10, and Motley Crue make me nervous now because of my fuck up that time, but I'm thinking, I don't really care what it is because I know it's got a track.
Put it in the past, man. Put it in the past.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 10 Seconds to Love. There you go.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
Brilliant deep lyrics on this one. Obviously. Pull my trigger. My trigger. My gun's loaded with your love. I think it's. But man, it's just fucking brilliant. What an excellent song. Just everything on the album, like you guys said, it's just perfect. Could have chosen any song of this, easy.
Yeah.
You could have even chosen the fucking intro because it would be the perfect intro for a playlist, couldn't it? In the beginning, whatever it's called, it would have been perfect. So, no, it's a great.
In the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Crew album. Brilliant.
Yeah, I was going to have Bastard on my list because I used to love that when you were a kid because it had swearing in it, but that was my favourite song.
Yeah. Now, there's too much swearing in music now. It's just too, you know what I mean? It did shock you back then when you was a kid.
It did, yeah.
You know, like the fucking You Bastards, Black Sabbath, you know, when that came on, I was like, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, that's 70s as well, that was,
70s, yeah. But now it's just, you know, if you're a rapper, you can just say fuck, and suck my cock and all that now, can't you? So it's just ridiculous.
It'll shoot up straight to number one.
Exactly, number one. There you go. Just swear a bit. But nah, brilliant list, guys. I'm glad we all got you got some really good ones in there as well. Some good ones again. So
well, it's just the land of plenty. It really is, you know. And we're just spoiling ourselves because in about 15 years' time,
we're going to be struggling.
When we get to the late 90s, man. Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's great to get some honourable mentions in as well. Obviously, if there's any you couldn't get on or you would have liked to have on, let's go Dom first.
Okay, yeah, I got a few. Didn't get anything from Motorhead, Another Perfect Day, which is an album I really like, actually. I know it's a odd one because it was the only album with Brian Robertson. But they're kind of slowed stuff down. It's not considered a classic in their catalog, but I like when bands kind of do the unpredictable thing. Nothing from Thunder and Lightning. I'd love to have the title track as number one. Yeah. Another number one was Cheap Trick, I Can't Take It, from Next Mission Please, one of their classic singles. There was a single only in 1983. It's not on an album, but it's my favorite girl school song of all time. It's called 1, 2, 3, 4 Rock and Roll. But you know, I couldn't put it on because it's only a bonus track on whatever album that came out closest to that on the CD, so couldn't really put it on there. My very favorite Heart song is How Can I Refuse? It was on the album just before the big pop break and the big hair and the big shoulder pads and all this stuff. This is, well, you know, they got very glam looking in their big hit years. But this is just before this, the last album on CBS before they got dumped. So it still has some organic feel, and they wrote it, of course. So just a great song, How Can I Refuse? And then finally, if I didn't have You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, I would have had Rubicon off of Frontiers.
Oh, nice. Great song.
Love that song.
Great song, yeah.
Step inside the Rubicon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific.
Brilliant song. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant, mate. What you got, Jack?
Yeah, we've got quite a few. I've got a few, definitely some ones. I mean, I thought you were going to have Stand Up and Shout from Dio as number one. That's what I was thinking you were having with the T-shirt. But great song. Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, title track from his second album. That would have been good. Thunder and Lightning, as you say, Thin Lizzy. Black Sabbath, Trashed, which I had on my Black Sabbath list from that album. Ozzy, Bark at the Moon you had. And then I Love Stranded, the first track of the Rainbow, Bent Out of Shape album. I think it's a great song, which I couldn't get on there. Track 2, Holy Diver, of course. No one had that, which I thought might have been on there. And Marillion, He Knows You Know, from Script of a Jester's Tear. I think the first album from Marillion. Might get mentioned in future lists. Track 3, Misfits, Devil Lock from Earth's AD and Wolf's Blood. Difficult with Misfits. I love the Misfits, but most of their albums, because they were a weird punk band, aren't they? So they didn't really have any proper studio albums. I think this is about the only one. Most of them are like compilation albums, so difficult to get their songs on. Shout at the Devil, of course, from Motley Crue. Number 4, Jump in the Fire, Metallica, another great track from Kill 'Em All. And Too Late for Love from Def Leppard. And then 6, Still Life, which I still haven't managed to get on for Iron Maiden on any list, unfortunately. And another one, bands, not a big fan, it might appear later, Suicidal Tendencies, the song Institutionalized, which is the classic one about drinking Pepsi, if you've probably seen it. And then number 8, we didn't have anything from Flick of the Switch, did we? Nobody had any AC/DC, but that's our old friend Bedlam of Belgium at number 8. So that's it.
I mean, you had Accept bring out an album that year. Obviously, that Balls to the Wall was out, but I don't know, everything on my list I preferred. You know what I mean? I like. Yeah. I might Accept might get in my list a lot later on. But what I wouldn't have minded getting on, I've only got a couple of track ones to talk about. Saxon, there you go. Power and the Glory.
Mm-hmm.
What a great opening track that was. And I really wanted to get this one on, but it just didn't work out. And Survivor, I talked about this album before, Caught in the Game album. And the title track, Caught in the Game. I absolutely love it. And Dio's back again. Yes, he is. So really...
And that's still with Dave Bickler, right?
Yes. And then I think after that, it might have been Jimmy Jameson came in the band.
Okay.
But I just love quite a few of them Survivor tracks off that album. But it was such a great year. I couldn't compromise anything else, you know. So
spoiled for choice.
Yes, exactly. So, he's so tired now because he's done nothing all day. There you go. He's had a poo and something to eat. He's so worn out, isn't you?
Yes,
you are. Right.
That's just like me.
Exactly. Listen, guys, thanks for joining me again. Obviously, we're going to probably try and do another great year, 84 next week. I'll let you know when I'm available. You're definitely up for it, yeah? Yep. Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Can't wait. And let us know your lists below in the comments. See what you can come up with. So,
right, guys. Have a go.
Yes, exactly. All right, see you soon, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. Bye-bye.